Okay, how are you doing? Good, I hope. I've set up here in the kitchen, something I don't often do because we've got cats. And there's 3 cats in here. We got 5 altogether. One stays in my room, one stays often in my mother's room, and then 3 kind of roam around. There's one sitting behind the camera right now. Kind of a half-grown kitten. 2 of them are black. One's kind of a tabby color. If you see the camera moving around, it's because I'm using my gimbal, and it's got this neat AI feature on it that it tracks me. So, hope that's okay. Let's just do a little walk around and give you some idea what that means. So, I've also got a wireless mic here. What is it, a Hollyland? Yeah, you see? So hopefully the sound will be good, and I'm just kind of walking you around a little bit. Not that you need to see everything. The way I got the lighting set up, you're not going to be able to see me here in the kitchen. But I guess I could turn the overhead light on. Let's see what that... Yeah, okay. So it gives you some idea where I live, what it looks like. Nothing special. Double wide in Kentucky. That'll mean more to some than to others. I've decided to try something a little different here. I'm going to, when I title this, it's just going to be vlog and then the date. Today's September the 18th, 2024, 2 days before my birthday. So this is Wednesday. Let's see, 18th there. Yeah, I guess, is it Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday, 18th. 19th, 20th, that means my birthday's on a Friday. I was thinking it was on a Saturday. I haven't been on for a little bit. It's been a few days, not too long. My father died on September the 5th. That's probably not a great introduction to it. I don't care much for the euphemisms. I respect them when others use them. You know, somebody passes away, someone's gone to their rest, and so on. But for me, it's death. My father died. He was 92 years old. It was cats. It was not unexpected. So, I'm trying to herd cats. You ever heard any herding cats? So, he had contracted COVID about 6 weeks ago. And that was hard on his heart and his lungs. He'd been vaccinated, and we are a vaccination family. If that upsets some of you, you can go somewhere else, because I'm not going to argue the facts of vaccination. I believe it was a good thing. I don't believe it was a government conspiracy, anything like that. I believe that it saved thousands and thousands of lives. I had a couple of vaccinations myself since then, booster and so on. My mother has as well. She's 90 years old, lives with me here, or I live with her here. And she's never had COVID, thankfully. If so, it's such a mild case that it went unnoticeable. But this isn't a vlog about COVID. This is just a vlog of me firing up the camera and talking. It's almost 10 after 5 in the morning. Mom's in bed. I've been up I've been awake, laying in bed for a few hours. Back to my father, Eugene McKenzie Jr. He died somewhere between 6 and 7 on a Thursday evening, September the 5th. Got the news. He began to struggle a little bit at home. It didn't seem to be too harsh or bad. There was someone there that came in and sat with him, cared for him and my stepmother in the evenings. And he called for help, and don't need to go into all the details, but they called EMS, and he passed about 2 hours later at the hospital. They did resuscitate him the first time, I think, on the way there. Again, forgive me, Edie, stepmother, if I get the facts wrong. I did get the facts wrong in the obituary, one minor point. But I wrote his obituary that went into the funeral home, Rogers Funeral Home, rogersfuneralhome.com, if you want to go there and read the obituary. rogersfuneralhome.com. Eugene McKenzie Jr. I loved my father. He loved me. I said that in the obituary. We never had any really big blowouts through midlife. I didn't see them a lot, maybe once a year. Some of you know that I'm a recovering addict. I had about 3 years of addiction as a teenager, and then had a midlife relapse in '89 that lasted probably to 1995. Been clean and sober since then, although I've still had addictive behaviors, to deal with the roots, some of the root causes, the PTSD stuff, trauma, not from war, but really addictive, again, behaviors. Married 3 times, divorced 3 times. I'm not trying to make this out of myself. The point is, my father and other family members have been through some things with me, especially the teenage years. I left home early. I guess I was almost 17, probably 16. Almost turning 17. Before I went into my senior year of high school, moved into a family, kind of a drug house, a nice one, very middle class, big A-frame out in the country. Father was a salesman. And 4 or 5 of us lived there. They had 2 sons, teenage sons at the high school. They'd come from the East Coast and pretty heavy drug users, brought a lot of drugs into the high school. Kind of a country high school, middle school area, Claremont County, northeastern. The mother, stay-at-home mom, dad, a salesman, out and about. Wasn't there very much. She was a good lady, by the way, good lady. But during that time, I lived, after there, it was just various other places. Several times with mothers with a couple kids. By kids, they were my age. And we all got high and bought and sold drugs a little bit just to get by. Spent 7 months in Florida, Pompano Beach, hitchhiked back up out of there. I became a Christian when I was 20. So maybe sometime I'll give you the story if you want to hear the story. Leave a comment there. My parents divorced when I was 4, and I've always had a stepmother and a stepfather because they both remarried. And my mother about a year after, which would have been probably 61, I think. And then my dad and stepmother married in 1964. I can't imagine life without my step-parents. My stepfather drank too much. Again, not a bad life. He provided for us, worked hard, often 2 jobs between the farm and factory, Ford. We were out of Cincinnati, Ohio at the time. And that's not to disparage him. It's facts of life. And of course, I resented him. I was afraid of him. He never hurt me, anything like that growing up. But I had a lot of emotional trauma as a child. Not because my parents were mean to me, but just the way I reacted to the divorce. You can get into all kinds of psychology on YouTube here if you want about attachment, detachment, and so on. Been through some therapy. I've been depressed ever since I was a kid. And again, I'm not trying to make this about me. Everything is about me, isn't it? It's my life. in that sense as I'm relating it. But that's what my father and parents had to deal with. I got expelled from a couple schools. They sent me to boarding school for a while, and I ran away from home once. And I was very independent. Not. I was very selfish, and I was angry. I got angrier as a teenager, but I was also an introvert, so I buried a lot of that inside, and that's the background with a lot of my depression. I still have to deal with some of that repressed anger and anxiety. Yeah, didn't sleep well. I don't sleep well now. I'm usually up through the night and sleep sometimes during the day. Depends on my mother's schedule. She's a night owl like I am, so it fits. We got a young man, Patrick Patton, that lives with us, and he had it real tough as a child. He's 32 years old. My mother took him in as a boarder to help him out when he was 19. And like I say, he's 32 now. Been with her since then. And I came here to help my mother after she had a stroke, and about 8 years ago. So I've been here that long. And we manage. We get along. We have our moments. But God has been good. God is gracious and kind and just and loving. As you know, much of my channel is about my Christian experience. I do teaching here, scripture reading. Going forward, and I was just thinking about this evening, whether I'm consistent with it or not, because the Lord knows how inconsistent I can be. I'm going to simply put in the title, it'll be vlog, and the date, and maybe something in the description about what the video is about. I've got to keep doing the videos because it gives me a sense of meaning, and it gives me a sense of purpose. It gives me something to wake up to. It gives me something to study for. It gives me a marker of discipline, a point in time that I need to lean into. Some of you that listen to my videos are very close friends. Others are just acquaintances. Some that I've met on the internet. Become good friends with a couple of you from the internet. And that's been a blessing. So my first primary audience, as I've said before, really are those handful of people. I've got, moving towards 1,800 subscribers. Many of those are from shorts. And I'm going to still do Bible reading. And I think what I'll do is I'll incorporate it into these vlogging sessions, and then maybe I'll put something like that in the title, a text, what it's about. The reason I want to make a change, hopefully I will make a change, is I just need to fire this camera up and go at it. I've got perfectionistic tendencies that have plagued me. I've always been very disappointed in anything that's a lack of order in my life, and there's a lot of that. Procrastination, there's been a lot of that related to depression and what they call PDD, persistent depressive disorder. Yeah, and then I've had major depressions too. Been in treatment for that, several clinicals. Had to have people take care of me for a while. It's been a long time ago. But I'm probably low key now. I'm still functional. Just had a shower. Don't do that every day, but I try to keep up. Cooked a pot of beans yesterday, pinto beans. They're in the fridge now. Made some cornbread. I did some experimental with the cornbread. Yellow cornmeal, and I used flax meal instead of egg, 2 tablespoons of that, and I used some almond flour, which is gluten-free. I'm diabetic. My blood sugar is going good. It's only like 5.5. My A1C reading brought it down with diet. I've been a vegetarian since I was 20, back before it was trendy. Yay for me. But of course, I've had slippages. I mean, 89 to 95, doing drugs and smoking and eating healthy was least to my concerns. I'm a vegetarian for health reasons and because it's the biblical diet. If you don't believe that, then, well, sorry, but you're wrong. Just go to Genesis, study the Bible. Yes, God allowed people to eat meat. As soon as he did, ages dropped significantly. We weren't nearly as long-lived. There's been a lot of studies on the advantages of vegetarian, vegan life, lower cancer rates, and so on. It's not out of concern for animal welfare, although I have that with me. Yeah. I used to take care of cattle. I had a few head of cattle, and they became quite friendly. Cows and horses and goats and sheep. Not that I took care of all those, but they have feelings. They get attached to you. They follow you around like pets, especially when you raise them when they're younger. And eating meat bothers me. I think there would be less meat eating if everybody had to butcher their own. Either that or we would just become more bloodthirsty. Don't know what it is. You don't need to kill to eat. I'm not saying you're a terrible person if you have. There's worse things than eating meat. Yeah. But long-term overview, not good for you. You weren't made for it. Your intestinal system, your digestive system is that of a vegetarian herbivore. It's not that of a carnivore. Your teeth, yeah, those are herbivore teeth. You have a much healthier life, vegetarian. But I'm not a nut. By that I mean I'm not as what I should be. I wish I were a nut because I would get more exercise. That's on my mind a lot too these days. I got a bad shoulder. It's like a frozen shoulder. That hurts. That really hurts. I had 2 periods of frozen shoulder 18, 19, 20 years ago. Left arm, right arm, successive years. That's what it feels like, but I think it could be in the joint, whatever like that. It hurts all the time, movement, but not so much. It depends. It can keep me awake at night. But of course, going blind in my right eye right now, and there's a cattail. And losing some vision in my left. If I'm looking at the camera now, yeah, I'm blurry. I can't make out the details of my face real clearly. I mean, I see the nose, and there's my ear, and here's my beard, and so on. Yet my eyes are bigger. I see that, but it's a little bit fuzzy. It's like now, if I go without the glasses aren't making this, because for me to see the camera, I need to do this. Yeah, I need to change. It's clear there now. So it's a combination. I'm rambling, of course, and I knew that I would do that. Right now, I don't care. I don't care. Some of that's probably grief. It's a combination of the grief and some of my depression. One of the reasons I jumped on here this morning is because I've just laying around for the last few days, not doing too much. I preached this last Saturday. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, so I worship on the Bible Sabbath Saturday, 7th day. You can read the commandment there, Exodus 20, 8 through 11. The 7th day is the Sabbath. I've got some video on that, a biblical study there on the Sabbath, if you want to go down. I think it was a couple months ago. Don't have the exact date right now, but it's almost an hour long, the biblical exposition of Sabbath. But anyway, I preached in Richmond, Kentucky. I preached on John 17 and the oneness that the Lord would have between us and himself, his intercessory prayer, his prayer of consecration. It goes by several names attached to it by later Bible students and theologians. I hope you'll have a look at John 17. Yeah, do you want me to pause and get into that a little bit? I could make this a hodgepodge of a video, but I guess if you want to discover new things, you just need to stay with me. I don't know that I'm going to put in chapter marks on the video. You can check out the transcript and find your way that way. John 17 is the closing of a discourse that begins, for me, probably, kind of a proper discourse would be in 1333 when Jesus is talking more directly to his disciples. At the time of the Last Supper, what we call the Last Supper, the last Passover that he celebrated with his disciples in the upper room. I've read a theologian recently, actually since my sermon, in some commentary, and he takes it back to really John 12, about the middle of the chapter, where Jesus says his hour has come. Some Greeks come. They speak to Philip and say, we're looking for Jesus. And Jesus recognizes in this coming of the Gentiles to him that his hour, that is the hour of his suffering, crucifixion, death, resurrection, has come, the hour for him to glorify his Father by his death. And he prays that the Father would glorify him. He says that his death is like a grain of wheat that's planted in the ground. If it's not planted, it's just alone. But if it's planted, it springs up and bears much fruit. Oh, if you heard that noise, it's the cat. So he says that if he's lifted up, he will draw all men unto him, to himself. So from 12 on to 17, you have Jesus focusing heavily on teaching his disciples. 1 through much of first half of 12 is his public ministry in the Gospel of John. And then you have this division in the book. There's a cycle of signs in those first 12 chapters. In fact, it's been called the Book of Signs, and the second half of John has been called the Book of Glory. But if you want to understand 17, read really from the middle of 12 on. All of the themes, the words, the allusions, the metaphors, they all blend together with Jesus. If you want to understand the discourse, if you want a summary of the themes that matter to Jesus, read the prayer of John 17, 26 verses. It actually serves as a summary of the whole book up to that point. Very good. And it also looks forward to his suffering. That's just a little bit of a context, a little bit of background for reading John 17. But nothing will replace reading it for yourself. The Word of God, as it says in Hebrews 4:12, is living, active, sharper than a two-edged sword. It gets inside of us. God created by his Word. He said, let there be light, and there was light. He brought form out of the early chaos of a world covered in water. You read that in Genesis 1. A world that he created. He didn't just happen upon a planet and start doing stuff. He made the heavens, our known universe, all that is created as our creator. John begins relating to creation in his very beginning of the gospel, where he says, in the beginning, which takes you back to before time, really. It's an idiomatic expression. It's got some Greek influence in it, but in the beginning, arche, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word is referring to Jesus Christ, who, it says in 1:14 of John, that the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Just a minute, I got to get a tissue here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it didn't follow me. I give the okay sign. If I give the okay sign, then it begins to follow me. Now, that's what that okay is about. It's not the okay sign's been taken over by a bunch of fanatics, right-wingers, white supremacists, and so on. And don't confuse me with them. I have nothing but disgust for that movement. I'm not making a political advertisement here. I'm registered as an independent, but I have no time really for the alt-right and or a lot of the Republican nonsense that we hear. Not that the Democrats are greatly better as a political party. I don't like partisan politics. I'm not trying to digress there, but I don't have any room for the Trump-Vance ticket. Let me say something about that real quick. You could say, oh, well, there's all this fake media. No. Yeah, there's fake stuff. There's no question about that. But you know why I don't follow Trump and Vance and those folk? Because I've heard him talk. That's it. I've just heard him speak. He's been a con man and a con artist from way before the Apprentice times. And I don't need his financial history to tell you that. I just need to listen to him. Like you say, I got a history of the other side of the law myself with the drugs and so on. And I know when somebody's running a line, and I don't want to be cruel or heartless to any of you, but I find him to be a deplorable in character, highly immoral, a pathological liar. I would not let him babysit my dog, not because he would eat it, as he claims others people are doing, but because he is so narcissistic that he's careless of anybody's wants and needs except his own. Yeah. So I'm not in a sermon. I don't think that those kind of comments are appropriate for pastors or even former pastors to make in the pulpit in religious settings when it's time for worship. I don't believe that we should get on our political hobby horse. That's not the time. And I think there should be a strict separation of church and state. That's another reason that I can't favor the Republicans right now. I don't care for several of the Democrats' positions. I am what you would call pro-life, although I believe a woman should have a right to abortion if there's medical need for it. But I also believe in protecting the rights of the unborn. So I can't embrace all that the Democrats believe. I'm not an economist. I don't know who's best on that, Republicans or Democrats. But the immigration stance, the scare tactics, the awful, awful rhetoric that comes from Donald Trump, I can't stomach that. And the name calling, And I think what irritates me most is that some of you as Christians embrace that kind of immorality, unethical behavior. And we're Republicans and we want the policies. The Republican Party is not what it used to be. It's not your father's Republican Party. It's not your grandfather's Republican Party. It's a completely different animal. It really is Trumpism right now. And Trumpism is akin to fascism, some of those qualities. People are writing volumes about that. So I would just, I'm just offering that as a warning for Christians. Hey, Mom, you up?
I gotta get something to eat.
Mom's coming in to get something to eat, so you'll hear her rumbling around the kitchen. It's 5:30 in the morning. She's having a peckish stomach, I guess.
I didn't eat much last night, just some beans.
She just had some beans last night. What do you want, Mom?
I don't know.
She doesn't know. Cereal, banana?
I'll eat the banana. Look at that.
Yeah, she's pointing to something that the cats did on the floor, which is not remarkable. One of our cats is not well. The others we've doctored all of them, but one of them is a little incontinent occasionally. Thankfully, we've got hard floors here. She's getting her favorite out, yogurt.
What are you talking to?
I'm making a video.
Oh.
So if you want to shout, holler, do a dance or whatever, you can be on it. You got plenty of light there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Well, you can get a banana there. You're all right. My mother's 90 years old, and she would like for me to do everything for her, but she needs to exercise. Maybe she thinks I'm being mean. Here, let me have that.
I got it.
Getting the top off the yogurt.
Oh,
Here. This is Walmart brand, great value. It's not Mom doesn't like Greek yogurt, so which I think is a little healthier. It's a higher protein yogurt, but at 90 years old, I'm happy that she eats anything that she will. She's a vegetarian too, lifelong, much longer than I am at 90 years old. And so I talked to them about being a vegetarian earlier, Mom, and the benefits of it. So if you want to be living to 90 and have a happy, wonderful life living with your son, who's a marvelous person, then she's smiling. She's used to me being a smart aleck. Okay, I'm going to throw it away. Okay. That tastes good. Strawberry yogurt. Well, I could, if I walked around the kitchen there, I could come up next to her and give her a hug, and then she would be on camera. You want to be on camera, Mom? You want to be on camera? There's a reason that light's on, Mom. Turn it on, please. Turn it on, please. Mom, turn that light on, please. Yeah. Do you know why I've got that on? Because of the camera, so that I can see. See, I don't have any light behind me. I've got that light there in front of me. So, yeah. Mom is very patient with me, and I appreciate that. And yeah, I'd mentioned my father earlier. Yeah, I told them about Dad dying, Mom, and so maybe I'll get into more about his life in the next video. I owe him some of that and a little bit of recollection for him. Yeah, we're going about 30 minutes now on here. I would yeah, maybe I'll stop here and get this posted and then do another one later in the day. For some reason, I've got the urge. Like I said before, I need to vlog, and it gives me something to do, to get up for. Mom is putting yogurt in a coffee cup. She's going to eat it out of the coffee cup, spoons at a time. I do the shopping. Getting a little iffy with my eyesight driving, but I go sometime, well, about once every 2 weeks, and then occasionally I pick up some extra stuff like bananas and yogurt, things that we go through on a more regular basis. My Ezekiel bread, which is good for me. Walmart's about 17 miles from us. You can always tell how far you are into the country depending on how far you are from your local Walmart. Yeah, we're on a country road here, about 6-7 miles outside of Crab Orchard, Kentucky. Find me if you can. Yeah, there she goes. Okay. Yeah, you did walk by the camera, Mom. You did walk by the camera. So. If they saw you walk by behind me on the camera, she thinks that's funny. You'll notice that her hair was not in curlers or curled. All of my childhood, my life, Mother would put her hair up in pink curlers, these foam curlers. Maybe your mother or grandmother did that too. She would do that often around 11, midnight, before she would go to bed. We were always up late. And yeah, so her hair had some curl to it all of my life. It's only been the last couple of years, I guess, hasn't it, Mom? You stopped doing that, really. A little longer, maybe, but occasionally she gets out the curling iron, or my niece will take her to the hair salon, and she'll get a mild perm just to give it some body in it, Yeah, I thought she would stay in. That's why I got up, Mom, and did this in here. I thought you might stay and be in bed for a while. I gave her meds, evening meds, probably 2 o'clock. Yeah. No, it was 12:30. It's 12:30 last night. She still was up later. She was laying in bed doing paint by numbers she got for her birthday. Small, probably, I don't know, 6x9 cards with the paint by number. Did a good job laying in bed with the paints on her stomach there. And yeah, maybe she'll let me show you one. Did you finish it? Did you put the stripes in and things? It looked like a Van Gogh sunflower on the table.
What?
Did you finish the stripes on the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the big foot painting?
Yeah, on the painting.
Yeah, I got done.
Yeah, she got done, she says. So, yeah, maybe I'll show you one of those next time. Well, we survived. The cats, after their curiosity, giving me a break here. Okay. Thanks for spending some time with me. We'll see how this experiment goes. Vlog and a date and a little bit in the description, maybe. And we'll go from there. If you don't really like this, it's probably not going to hurt my views, because generally I only get like 30 to 50 views. I'm not doing this for views. It may go up. There are some of you who are voyeurs. I say that in a good sense, who might spend time just watching somebody do housework or whatever. But yeah, maybe I'm boring my friends to death. Don't know. I did a short the other day. It got 4,400 views. It was on, it was a reading from the book of Revelation. This is the highest views I had from a short, and the most likes. I had over 500 likes on that short. And I got, I think, like 40 subscribers out of that. But many of you who are short subscribers, if per odd chance that you happen to still be listening to this, or you just happen to check in on it, YouTube says that YouTubers who are supposed influencers and authorities on these things say that our short subscribers, they're after shorts. They're not after long form video. So having a lot of, most of my subscribers are from shorts. I started the first of the year under 1,000. Actually, I think it was closer to, I think it was like 600 or something like that. And I've gotten about 1,000 subscribers from shorts since the first of the year, in the last 9 months. And most of those were the first 4 or 5 months, even 3 or 4 months of shorts.
Are you talking to somebody?
Mom asked me if I'm talking to somebody. She's bored of me talking to myself. I'm making a video, Mom.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to YouTube. She's been listening to me jabber on, and she said, "Are you talking to somebody?" Yeah, I hope so. I hope somebody tunes in. Okay. Wouldn't it be a shame if the microphone hadn't been working all this time? What are we at there? 38, going on 40 minutes. So let's cut this now, and take care, and I'll be back with you soon.